What's good, YouTube? Steel here, and today's video is going to be all about the Zoroark Drop Event that was just released in Pokemon Pocket. As you can see, we only have 10 days to complete it, and this video will be a complete guide on not only what we're playing for, but also how to take on every task and difficulty in the event, as well as, and most importantly, how to maximize the promo packs. But before we get into the actual gameplay or the deck building, let's take a look at what we're playing for. Like most drop events, except for the Ultra Necrozma one, we have 5 Pokemon that we're going for, or 5 cards that we're trying to acquire here. 3 being different arts of cards that already are existing in Secluded Springs, 2 of them being event exclusives. For the ones that are just alternate arts, we have Zoroark. As you can see here, it's the same elusive trickery that if it knocks out opponent's Pokemon, it can't take damage the following turns for 70. Then we have a new copy of Zorua. Again, this is just a reprint of this exact same card that you could get from Secluded Springs. The good part is, as a collector, I want to own like every card that's in the game, like to some extent, right? Obviously, there's a bunch of 2 stars and immersives that I don't have, but as far as like everything that's like limited time only promos, I want to collect everything. Whether I like the art of one or more, doesn't matter. Then we have the third and final, I guess, reprint or alternate art is the Melodic. Apologize on not knowing how to pronounce that correctly. As you see, it's the healing ripples, 60 on evolution. This is one, Melodic keeps being one of those Pokemon where, actually one of the few, if not the only Pokemon that I prefer these non-full art versions over the full art. Then we have the 2 promo exclusives, aka this is like the more important ones, because no matter up to this point there have not been a way to reprint, trade, get after this event is over. There's no way of getting this Poliwag. For example, if you don't get Zorua, yeah, you don't have that art, but you still have access to that card in terms of like a competitive or a gameplay situation. On the other hand, this Poliwag, if you do not get it from this event, there is no known way that we have to reacquire this card. Like I just emphasize that. But yeah, we have Poliwag 1 colorless, surprise attack 40, flip a coin. If tails, it does nothing. So it's your standard, or not really standard, but and then we have double smash, another coin flip effect here. We have Tropius with 2 colorless, 40x, flip 2 coins. This attack does 40 per heads. Do I think either of these cards are playable or important to get? Playable, no. Important to get. Again, I'm one to consider myself a collector, as well as like gameplay wise. I'm very competitive when it comes to gameplay, but I'm fiend when it comes to collecting every card that's possible, especially these limited time ones. If you do not get them from this event, there's no other way of getting it to our knowledge to this point, right? But overall, those are the 5 cards that we're playing for: the Tropius, the Poliwag, the Melodic, Zorua, and Zoroark. And now knowing what we're playing for, let's jump right back to the event. Now looking at the difficulties, if you have not played it yet, where you're gonna see you only see beginner and you're forced to go through each level. The one emphasis I have to say, like if you just clicked on this video, see this one part and bounce, or you're just trying to get to the deck list and bounce, there will be timestamps for that. Hopefully y'all stick around for the rest of the video regardless. But the most important thing that I always mention in these drop events, only play expert. Like once you get to expert, you don't play anything else, because expert's the only one that guarantees that promo pack every time that you win. With the other ones, yes, you could get a promo pack, but the percentages are not 100%, which means you could go through the hassle of going through this gameplay and not getting a pack. But it's good to note that they've since added the chance rewards, the first time rewards, where you will get that first pack every time you beat it. Not to mention a few hourglasses as well. I think it's 2. We'll check it right now. It's 2, then it's 4. That's 6 total. 6 more, so that's a whole pack. And then from the last one, we get, that's an 8. So you get 20 hourglasses from just doing the event, just beating each level once. You also get some shop tickets as well as the promo packs. But now where the complete guide comes in is each level has its own missions that give you different things. For example, this first one, the beginner, is the only one that requires you to play fighting, and 3 basic Pokemon. So for just this the beginner level, is that I recommend taking a page from my Jump Love video, and we're actually going to use, or I recommend to use this deck that we see here, which is the Rampardos box, or the fighting box. You know, there's obviously a whole bunch of basic Pokemon. It's going to be very simple. The opponent's deck is when it says beginner, it means it, right? So you get to knock out their Pokemon with your fighting types. You're going to have the 3 basics almost guaranteed. It does count the Fossil as well. Like if you only draw Fossil, Lucario, and like Marshadow, those are the 3 basics that you need. And that'll get you through the event easily. Well, not the event. It'll get you through beginner easily. But now when we look at intermediate and onwards, you're going to see that it requires to use grass type Pokemon. In which case we will change the deck. But as you can see here, it's requiring grass type, stage 1, winning fast, and what we'll be using for that is a non-EX version of, or a 3 diamond or less version of the Executor deck that's popping off on ranked. Yes, the deck is very solid. This one just has slightly less power level because you are doing less damage with the Executor. But once again, we're in intermediate right now, where it really doesn't matter. Like, you're gonna be able to take on it on very fast. But as you see, we got our stage 1 in Executor, and we got our grass type Pokemon. And this deck is as aggressive as it gets, whether you will the Alolan or you start swinging with the Genetic Apex non-EX Executor. You're gonna get that cleared rather quickly. Then we have what it would be Advanced, which is one of those. Okay, again, you got to use grass type Pokemon 3 diamonds or less, which is why we're using the list we just looked at, the Executor list, is because it's all 3 diamonds. Well, the reason we have the list the way we do is so that we meet the requirements of 3 diamonds or less, and so you don't have to be like switching back and forth through your decks. This one though requires you to win the battle without giving any points. Me personally, if you feel like you're about to win and they get that knockout, or you're not able to win without the points, I would almost suggest backing out. Mainly because it will waste your stamina if you go through it and win and then have to go again and again. Although, and the reason I say that is because for Expert, as we see here, not only do you need to beat it with 3 diamonds or less, you have to win fast as well as not give them any points. But then they have the win 10 games and then win 20 games. So if you waste your stamina like playing Advanced over and over again, you lose stamina that you could be using on the Expert level. And again, I can't emphasize enough, just play Expert. Once you beat the first 3 difficulties, just play Expert. That's the best way to guarantee the chance rewards, because it's not a chance reward. You're guaranteed the pack. I think the chances is whether you get a shop ticket or not. That's not 100%, but I can't emphasize how well this deck does at completing the event after the first mission. If beginner didn't care about the typing, I would say you could use this for every single path, but the fact that you need fighting for the beginner, and then everything else requires grass, you're forced to play 2 different decks. But here, this deck is solid. As well, one thing to note is that you only need to beat it with 3 diamonds or less once to get that mission. After you beat it once with 3 diamonds or less, I do recommend swapping the Genetic Apex Executor to the EX one, because you're just missing out on damage for no reason after the fact. You just need to beat it once with 3 diamonds or less, and this is exactly the list I recommend. As you can see here, we have 2 executes of the Growth Spur variety to help with the Alolan Executor. We have the Executor from Genetic Apex that's not EX, but it's the exact same card, just less damage. Then we have a red card. Red card's the only like flex spot. I was basically like very meta driven when I was putting this list together. Red card doesn't necessarily do too much, but there's not much that you would put otherwise. Repel is really good in this format. Yes, you can't bounce off a Zoroark, but you get to do it to Zorua. You get to do it to Absol. Getting a Darkrai out of the way or into the way is huge. The one Pokeball, because you're guaranteed one of the eggs. You don't want to have a dead Pokemon in hand. Although, I guess to consistently find a second execute, you could drop the red card for a second Pokeball. Then we have 2 Leaf Capes for health. But then the rare situation in which you're able to evolve into the Alolan Executor but don't have enough energy, Memory Light comes in real clutch. And you'll see it in the gameplay. It allowed us to evolve Executor, so we're out of range of getting knocked out by their Pokemon, as well as being still able to ramp, and then the following turn we're able to swing. Then we have Double Research, Double Will. Will is huge in this deck. If you see Will, you feel like you can't lose. It guarantees you 150 damage on the Alolan. It guarantees you 60 on the non-EX Genetic Apex one, and 80 if you start playing the EX one as well. Traveling Merchant is a little bit of a, I guess, like not a flex pick, but there was a Shigun list or player that somebody was playing against Shigun, one of the top players of Pokemon Pocket ranked, and they put this card in their deck. So I thought might as well. It helps finding the Leaf Cape, which was very important. It helps us find Memory of Light, which helps certain odd starts with the Growth Spur into Alolan. Then we have Double Erica, obviously grass Pokemon healing. We're already bulky as is. You add the Erica and they have a really hard time taking us down. And then Guzma is because they do play double cape, and honestly, we don't want to deal with that resilience. You get rid of the cape, you're able to get the knockouts. This list works perfectly. It worked perfectly for me. Like I suggested, once you beat it once though, you could easily cut this down, put the Executor EX, and the deck will be even better. As always, I'll stick some gameplay at right after this deck profile so you can see the deck in action. Best of luck with all your promo pulls. Thanks for watching. Please consider subscribing, and above all else, stay pro. All right, going second, which is, I would say, ideal. Like, obviously, this makes up for going first, but going second, we definitely want. It's just like the best way to just close it out fast. Obviously, it would require some luck or drawing will, but nonetheless. Let's see here. I'm pretty sure, like off the top of my head, I might be misremembering that they do play Sabrina. However, I still think it's correct to like Pokeball, because let's say they do place Arena, we'll just evolve into this one. And if they don't, we're just committing to this. Alright, let's Pokeball first. Then we'll Traveling Merchant. Alright, did we find anything? Unfortunately, not. Let's go here. And Growth Spurt. Alright, so we have the Alolan ready to go next turn. Or we could go the safe route with the Stomp. We'll see. Giovanni into Ram. And they put their entire hand on board, so from here on out, they're just top decking. Which makes this all the more tempting. Because like guaranteed damage. If we high roll here, we knock out the Zorua. Yeah, Zorua sounds correct. Obviously, it feels like a waste of energy, but flipping coins could also just get us in trouble here. So let's go into this. Let's cape it. I'm down to evolve back here as well. And if we get heads, we automatically knock this out. Alright, it doesn't matter. I was like, that would be huge, because then they have like nothing to really do next turn. Interesting, going for the Absol. Alright. Guzma's huge because once again we could high roll our way into a knockout here. Also, we almost knock out that in the back. Come on. There you go. That coin looked like it never flipped, by the way. It just looked like it was just like spattering with looking heads up. But let's go. As you can see, it gets very easy, right? The fact that all of this is weak to our Pokemon. Obviously, we're not, like, it'd be a much better deck if you use the EX Executor, which I guess once you beat it the first time when 3 diamonds or less, you could swap to the EX Executor and start winning a lot more consistently, because instead of needing to high roll, we automatically knock out Zorua here. Zorua? If I mispronounce it, I apologize. I honestly, genuinely don't know how to pronounce this. We are at 1. Yeah, we could afford to heal here with Erica. But yeah, you see, like, right here, EX would guarantee the knockout whether you flip heads or tails. But since we're trying to stick to the 3 diamonds or less, that's why this list that I'm showing you right now, and the one I'm recommending, is with this Executor, the Genetic Apex non-EX Executor, rather than the EX. But like I said, you just remember that this challenge itself, you need to beat it like 10 times for the 1 hourglass, like one of the tasks, and then 20 times for the other task. So basically, once you finish it with 1 time with the regular Executor, you're able to up it to the EX and have a much easier time beating it the rest of the way through. Alright, Will would have auto won this here, but at least this protects us from getting knocked out. The energy doesn't really matter, but let's go. If it's heads, the game's over. If it's tails, we'll just keep doing this until we win, basically. Again, a Will automatically makes it where we win. What else would make us win? Realistically, Executor, the one in the back, also Darkrai needs to hit twice to knock it out, and we get to swing once, and they hit us twice. Okay, we get 2 swings on it too, right? Red card is a little questionable in this list. It's more of like a meta choice that I didn't really optimize, but there's not much else that you would put in that position, right? Alright, there's 2 choices here. We could easily back out the Alolan Executor in hopes that we just stall a bit, but it would be 5 energy, goes down all the way to 1, it becomes pretty irrelevant. And they already use Cyrus. They can still Sabrina, right? Or we could just get heads in, the game's over here, and we don't have to worry about anything else that we were talking about. There you go. Perfect. Realistically, again, I know we got pretty lucky. We high rolled, I think, 3 times in this game alone, but that's because we got unlucky and didn't see Will, which guarantees those high rolls. Which, if you got Alolan plus Will, you knock out whatever's in front of you. As always, we do multiple examples, so let's jump to example number 2. Alright, this time we got to go first, which realistically just means that the other Executor would be better instead of this one. But And I repeat, let's say like in this situation where I won example number 1, the best thing to do is to swap into the EX Executor for the rest of the way. But again, this is to showcase you the easiest way to do it with 3 diamonds or less and move on with your day basically. I don't think the Leaf Cape is necessary immediately. I think Repel is also a good tactic here to slow them down. Although no, I think if they swing for 20 and then we Repel, it's probably better. And technically, the order, there's no need to cape here either. Let's just, we'll pass. Because what I had in mind is that if we could cape for the health, but if we top deck the memory, we were most likely, you see, here's where I probably should have repelled earlier. You see, that's exactly why we held up on the Leaf Cape, because now we go Alolan Executor, charge it here, Memory Light, although clearly we can't heal any, so let's go, let's actually Repel, and the Repel here is more of a stall tactic. Yes, they could go into the other one and still swing for 20, but they can no longer evolve and swing for 70, which is what, like, a bigger issue. Red card isn't very necessary, and let's just go Growth Spurt. So from here on out, we're swinging for lethal at all times. The most damage they could do next turn is 20, which puts us at 110. So if we draw Erica, we're in a really good spot. And although I don't want to necessarily risk it, we probably got to go Will. Although it's like obviously better if we knock out something like this, but let's go Will here. They didn't have Zoroark yet, but I think it's still important to put him down in hand size. Let's see, next turn, if they don't evolve, they could hit us for 40 total. I almost misclicked. If I would have Growth Spurt there, that would have looked terrible. Yeah, maybe we could have just gone for the high roll there. But realistically, as long as we start drawing Ericas from here on out, we should be okay. This is also where Repel would have been nice to just get out the. Yeah, this is gonna come down to the wire. And the wire being, can we top deck Erica or another? So we're forced to flip heads here. There's no other way of looking at it. That would have been a dead draw. Yep. Not much to say. Executor, your own life isn't in your hands. And that right there is huge. Granted, we're still not safe, right? They get to tag us for 20 with the Darkrai, which puts us at 20. So again, we're put at needing to draw Erica or an Execute to put in the back line, or flipping heads, right? So Will, double Erica, Pokeball, Execute. Those are 5 out of the 9 cards. And the Research could technically get it there, number 6. Alright, we're good, we're good. Alright, we'll let Executor try to fight for his life though. Let's go. Tropical Hammer. 1 heads here and you get to do it. Okay, it's fine. It's sort of fine, right? Not perfect. Because here Darkrai gets to knock out. Luckily it doesn't get to attack, so we get to flip a few coins with Executor before it matters. But we're gonna need some high rolls. Because we could swing for 80 twice, that would be game, but other than that, throwing out Giovanni, it doesn't really matter, right? Like, see here, Research, sure. I guess if we draw exactly Will and the other, okay, I was about to say, if we drew exactly that hand, we would wait a turn, right? Instead of waiting for the high rolls of the Executor from Genetic Apex, we just wait a turn and guarantee that we knock out Darkrai next turn. And just like that, we've beaten it twice. This one got a little scarier than the last one for sure, but nonetheless, we still got it done. And that's because we didn't see any healing or anything, so yeah, now Dark Prism puts us at 80. What's up, kiddo? Yeah. I don't know if that play will help him. But let's go with Tropical Hammer. And that's my sign of we got to get back to it. But yeah, hopefully this helps you all out. Thank you for watching. Doing my best to get the content out when I can. Yeah, thank you for watching. Please consider subscribing. Great luck on your promo pools, and above all else, stay pro.